As we moved into December, the final month of 2024, he had originally planned to travel back to Nigeria for the first time in almost a decade. He wanted to surprise his family, like those viral videos of someone returning to Nigeria after many years. He had talked about it often, but as the time drew near, he had been hearing about some protests and unrest in the region he would be visiting, and so he became worried about his safety if he returned at that particular time. I encouraged him to speak with his mom before going because she was there on ground and she would know what was really going on. Unfortunately, that would ruin the surprise for the one person he wanted to surprise the most. But he decided to speak to her, and when he did, she advised him against coming. She told him that as much as she missed him and as much as she would have loved to see him, it wasn't the right time. She was worried about the risk and about the cost. So he decided to cancel his trip. He figured he would be a bigger help to them from a distance. He was disappointed and had already requested the time off work, and so now he would have those weeks off doing nothing. I listened and I continued to observe his movements and how he decided to spend his time off. After all, this would be his third Christmas since arriving in the United States, and not one of those Christmases had we spent together in a fully integrated way. I was noticing and observing that his behavior was quite odd. I had been very gracious with giving him time to stabilize himself since his arrival in the US, giving him time to get on his feet, time to build something, time to do something for us, because I knew where he had come from. I knew what he had experienced in Italy, and I gave him grace for that. I believe that once he became stable, once the pressure was removed, once he was no longer in survival, that I would begin to see him show up differently. I would begin to see effort, partnership, intention. But as time went on, I saw none of that effort. And now those red flags I had missed had now become blaring sirens, patterns, behaviors, gaps that didn't quite make sense. And now I had stopped asking him questions as I gathered the answers for myself. Quietly, I began looking for the pieces of the puzzle that would eventually make the full picture clear. Because by then, we were kind of just living parallel lives, and I didn't see him making any real effort for us to bring our lives together. If anything, I was seeing the opposite. After all, April of 2025 would mark his third year in the USA, and by now, after obtaining his 10-year green card, he would soon be eligible to apply for US citizenship under the 3-year rule for a spouse whose marriage was still intact. And by now, he had already started talking about applying for citizenship, getting that blue passport that would make it so easy for him to travel to Italy to see his boys. He would often tell me about how much he missed his boys, how much he wished he could be there for them, how much they needed their father in their life, and how much he needed to get them over here with their mother, of course, because she was doing such a great job with them and he wanted her to continue raising them Nigerian style, he said. I listened and I observed, and I began to wonder what he was thinking about when I saw him staring into space sometimes. I mean, by this point, I knew that the mother of this first son had a second son for which we had no DNA evidence for. But what I didn't know was that there was another whole baby mama in Italy with another son who he had never seen or supported. A woman who had made the choice to raise her child alone and move forward without allowing him to be part of that son's life. But the first baby mama was not like that second one. Little did I know the promises he had made to that first baby mama. Little did I know I would lay my eyes and hands on Italian documents claiming they had been married back in Nigeria. And those documents would also claim that they even had a daughter together prior to the two boys that were born in Italy. Little did I know that I was going to find pictures of him and her together throughout the pregnancy in 2019 with their second boy. The pregnancy he had told me he knew nothing about. And little did I know I would find pictures in his timeline of him kissing another woman in the very same time frame of 2019 between my second and third trip to Italy. Little did I know the avalanche of evidence that would befall on me by the grace of God. But here in December 2024, I knew none of this yet. I had not yet prayed that special prayer for the revelation of truth. So I let him be. I just let him live his life as he chose to during his time off when he was supposed to be in Nigeria. And I just continued to observe. And Christmas came and Christmas went. We didn't spend it together, but we did decide to spend New Year's Eve together. I drove over to his apartment and we decided to go to the movies to see The Gladiator. We loved the movie. That's how we rang in the new year. Then we went out to his favorite spot. We came back home, we went to sleep, and the next day he went to work. And on the evening of January 1st, 2025, he worked the night shift. And while he was gone, I stayed in his apartment alone, like I usually did. I cooked his favorite meal, and I also decided I wanted to make a festive brie for myself with cranberries and walnuts. And as I was doing that, I felt the nudge. It was time. Something told me to get down on my knees and say that special prayer. And I did. I did just that. On that night of January 1st, while he was at work, I said it slowly and intentionally. I asked for clarity. I asked for truth. I asked that anything hidden from me be revealed fully and clearly without confusion. And as the night passed and January 1st turned into January 2nd, I looked over at the mirrored night table beside me. The drawer was slightly open and I saw it. The phone he used to watch his soccer matches. I picked it up and swiped. There was no password on it. By now, I had learned my lesson. The first thing I did was go straight to his Google Photos, and that's when I saw everything I needed to see. Pictures dated in 2019, pictures of the pregnant baby mama in his room accompanied with their son, and pictures of him kissing a random woman wearing his sweatshirt as I had been making plans for my third trip and while his first baby mama was preparing to give birth.